So guys, now let's go inside of our Udemy and let's go inside of our importing asset lecture. And here we are going to import our value woman sprite inside of our Unity. And after we are open that file, so here we can see the list of our asset and all the things that we need for this game. So now I'm going to put that here, so sprite inside of that. Now when I'm going to inside of our game asset, you can see our one value sprite. And inside we have a Chinese. So we are going to idle, and I'm going to put the first one. So and click on the last one and put all of them inside of our scene. Going to call that animation. So first let's make a back to game asset. Here I'm going to create a new folder, animations. Inside, for example, you can make idle animation and save it. As you see, we have our sprite and inside of our animator. So for going to inside of our animator, you just need to go to Window, Animation, and Animator. So now here we have the idle animator. So when I'm going to play, so the player should go to idle animation. So now is the idle animation is too fast, but because before I make that animations ready, so I'm going inside of our animations. Let's click on the idle, and I'm going to put the idle sword inside of that. So now when I'm going to click here, I'm going to rename the object to value player. So now inside you can see that the player is going to slowly to idle, so you can just adjust the speed of your idle depend on how fast you want to run that animation. So now we are going to add Box Collider 2D, and let's click on the edit. So I'm going to stop it first, because if you are do it in play mode, then it's not going to save, so I need to do it again. And then here I'm going to edit. So let's go back to our scene, and I'm going to adjust our box collider to the size of our player. And the next things, we need to add a rigid body to our player as well. So rigid body 2D. Now if I'm going to play, our player should fall down, because we have the mass of 1. And if I'm going to put it at 0, the player is not going to fall down. Or still it's going to fall down, because still we have the a little bit of the mass. So I'm going to put it at 1, but then gravity scale, I'm going to put it at 0. And you can see that now the player is not going to fall down because we don't have now gravity. Okay. So, but I want to the player have the physics and falling down because we want to put the jumping. So I'm going to put it at 1. Now here I want to make a sprite sheet, so I'm going inside of our game asset, right click, created 2D sprite square. So I'm going to just click it. So now I can bring that there. So we can edit it with, if we push this button, we can edit it how big we want. So I'm going to put it there. And that's for testing. So I can bring the play is also down, so I'm going to bring it down. So now if I'm going to play, we are going to fall down because here we don't have any box collider, so we need to add a box collider to this object as well. So now the player shouldn't fall down, and this should fall in top of our box. Perfect. So now we can also decolor it if we want. Now I'm going inside of the camera. Here I'm going to change the background to maybe black. So now we can see it better. So now when I'm going to play, we will have our player. And if you want, you can also change the size of it, for example, to 1.5. So it's the camera, we don't need to change the camera, we need to go to our video player. So here we can put the at 2 to make it a bigger. But I think 1 is good for now. Now here inside of the widget body, we also need to freeze at Z rotation so that the player is not going to rotate. But for now, we can just keep it like that. Later, I'm going to show you, and then we are going to click on that. So now let's go inside of our script. Here, right click, create C# script. I'm going to name it player controller. And I'm going to attach that to our player controller. So now the value have our player controller script inside. So now in the next video we are going to write in that. So work on that script. See you in the next video.